You're listening to the Wired for Impact podcast.
You were just saying that there are lots of things that somebody can do to actually prepare themselves and maybe possibly even thrive, have more freedom in the economic turbulence. What are some of those things? What are some direct actions people can take to improve their financial picture?
Well, there's two directions and two places to look at. The first thing is wealth protection and protecting yourself. That's the first thing. So just being protected. The second one is creating wealth and working on your finances. So for wealth protection, there are many things people can do. It depends on your situation, of course, but owning assets, not having too many dollars, because we know what's happening with inflation right now. Your dollars are losing value. Owning, some physical assets, whether it's silver or gold, digital assets such as certain cryptocurrencies. It could be collectibles. Yeah, just tangible assets, real estate, if you can afford that. The point is you want to protect yourself. Try to rely on yourself more and not be so dependent on the government. So if you can, have your own food, grow your own food, your own water source. Another thing that's very important is community. This is the safety and protection aspect of it. Now, for putting yourself in an even better position and creating wealth, the thing is, you want to own assets that are going to go up in value. So right now, we own a few different ones, but one of them is cryptocurrency, specific digital assets, because we know once the market matures and the use cases really kick in and utility, they're going to go up in value. I don't guarantee anything, but it really is a guarantee. We've seen this happen with the dot-com boom. It's happened in history before, and right now we're entering into that phase again where it's almost equivalent to the dot-com boom, where a handful of companies will succeed and most of them will go to zero. And the ones that succeed are the ones that are really disrupting industries and changing the world.
When you say that it's almost guaranteed, you're really talking about the ones that have that utility, not just any cryptocurrency.
Yes, exactly.
Just to be clear on that.
And create a business, create a side hustle. Try to become a little more self-dependent in terms of your cash flow. These are important things that people need to do because as the recession, develop skill sets. But people need to focus on making more money. And I get into conversations about people about making money and building a business or a side hustle, enhancing your cash flow. And people say, oh, money's not everything. And I agree, money's not everything. But we live in a world today where for you to have a sense of peace and a decent standard of living, you need to focus on financial freedom and build wealth, or at least build up your finances and your cash flow in some way, shape, or form. And not just for you, for your family too. Because if you don't, you're just relying on one job, you're relying on the government or a company, and you're just a number in their books. 100%. If something happens, you're screwed. You lose your job. I mean, people think you could find a job in a few weeks. Well, wait till things get even tougher. Then how are you going to pay your bills? How are you going to put food on the table? What I'm trying to do is let people be aware of what's going on so that they can have a backup plan. Try to create some sort of side hustle or something that you can rely on for some cash flow if you need it, or to build wealth in some way, But that's really the key, how you can grow your finances and make certain investments that have a high probability of doing well.
I know a lot of people hear that message and they're already stressed. They have no time. They're already overwhelmed. They're trying to get their kids to school and they're trying to do this and they've got a job. And so when they hear that message, oh, you need to do more. I just want to,
I know
it's extremely tough, but I want to just land this for a second to just say, you guys aren't trying to add complexity and stress to people's lives. You're trying to point out that this is going to get more difficult and that if you take these actions today, it will be less difficult for you.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
And that's something that I think people psychologically have a hard time wrapping their heads around because they go, oh, it must be easy for you, or I can't do that. It's like, okay, I understand that, but it doesn't make this problem go away. And And there is a way that you can lower the impact of that problem and potentially even give yourself a safe haven when that storm comes. So I just
Exactly.
wanted to reiterate that.
Yeah.
We talked about XRP, XLM. Are there any other crypto assets that you guys are big fans of?
Yes.
No, go
Another
ahead.
one is Hedera Hashgraph. It's called HBAR. Has huge potential. Actually, their governing council consists of the top companies in the world and fintech companies backing them, which is on their website, but it's not being promoted. So it's quite interesting. And that would be Google, LG, and Boeing, many big companies backing them. It's really something to look into. They have a superior technology for a specific use case. This is not a competitor with XRP because it's not a liquidity token. They're not focused on banking and the financial side of things, but that's another one. XRP, XLM, HBAR. Another good one is XDC, something to look into. So yeah, we own a few digital assets, really a handful. We don't have too many. We have some speculative plays, which we're not going to mention now because we don't want to, point anybody in the wrong direction. And they
Speculative.
Yes. Yes. Gold and silver is important to have because that's real money. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. And if you do own gold and silver, it will protect you because no matter what new currency we have in the world, no matter what happens in the financial system and monetary system, if you have gold and silver, one or the other, you have real money and it will be tradable and accepted in any situation because it is money. It will preserve your wealth. So, and silver is more affordable. Gold is a little on the higher side. But the truth is, these assets are going to get revalued at some point. They're being suppressed at the moment, and their value is only going to go up. If you look back on the historical charts, silver and gold, they only go up in price over time, especially as society loses its confidence in the reserve currency and the dollar.
Real quick.
Yep.
Go ahead.
All right, guys. So yeah, what I wanted to add is for the audience, I can understand how a lot of this, this doom and gloom talk, people get back from work, they're tired. They don't have time for this stuff. They want to just relax and see, again, this is why we say it's engineered. It's because the environment has been made to where people are so stressed, man. People they can't live anymore. How can people live like this? So what I'm trying to say is that people can no longer afford to be naive about the situation that's happening right before your eyes. They need to take action and preserve their wealth. Like my brother said, right now, I've said this many times, the place to be at is digital asset solutions, blockchain protocols, and physical assets, gold, silver, platinum, palladium. If you can have it, buy it, Again, Bank of International Settlements, they moved this from tier 3 asset class to tier 1. They didn't tell anybody about this.
Zero risk, it means.
Zero risk. Yeah, basically. So why?
It's the safest thing to own, basically.
On top of that, after they moved it, record high central banks buying gold. They're buying up what's left. I have friends that own gold stores here in Houston. They keep telling me, Versan, we're getting wiped out. They keep telling me because I check every 2-3 weeks to buy more gold, right? So yeah, it's getting serious. And what I'm trying to say is that when this currency reset happens, people need to understand if they're going to introduce a central bank digital currency, right? Your currency, your dollars are going to be worth less, a lot less. And the CBDC, let's say, is in the center. Your dollars are going to be here because of inflation, devaluation of currency. But if you're owning gold and it gets reset, it's going to be at a higher price. And the reason the gold price is what it is today, and silver and the whole precious metals market, is because they can print money. When they are not able to print money anymore, this has to stop, this global debt. It will implode on itself at some point. People don't get that. The precious metals, all the global debt in the world is going to be looking for the amount of physical gold in the world to sit under it. That's going to pump the price through the roofs, not to mention the reset of the price as well. And yeah, it's going to be an amazing asset to have when this reset happens, because you can convert it into whatever currency is legal tender, CBDC, but you're going to have a lot more money in that CBDC. Does that make sense?
Thank you for listening to this episode of Wired for Impact. If you're interested in creating and expanding your impact, be sure to visit us online at impactnow.com.